Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of Flag Plus Football's First and Goal podcast. I'm FPF Hall of Famer Brent Bodkin.
And I'm Quaysie for Maule.
All right, so let's hop into it. A lot of new things in FPF. A new week, obviously. Week 4 for most teams, starting tonight, Thursday. New website as well for FPF. So let's start Tier 5. Let's hop into that right away. I know you score kept a couple of games for Tier 5, so let's get into it. What did you see?
I actually got to watch a very good full team versus the Gamblers.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we're kind of talking. We're kind of talking about a very good football team, how they're not so good. They actually, to be honest with you, they are not so bad. Gamblers was just a better team,
Mm-hmm.
and they end up losing 52-30. But like both ways, the Gamblers were moving the ball pretty easily. But a very good full team was also moving the ball. Like they're not bad. Like I was, to be honest with you, I was impressed.
Okay.
I was impressed with both teams. For some reason, I thought they were going to be way worse than what they were. I feel like again, they're a new team in this league. I think it's their second season playing in FPF. They just have little things to work on. They have some small mistakes too, where they're kind of like they get like a couple yards going forward, and then they get like a sack. So they have little things that they kind of have to work on, and they have to make sure they take away the deep ball. Gamblers were kind of just chucking the ball a lot of point of the times where they're just like making plays and catching it, and where they didn't have a guy that was deep. A lot of blown coverages. So I think they kind of have to do that, and then they'll slowly start getting better.
Yeah, 100%. That's how it goes, right? That's how it is usually, especially for those teams in the lower divisions. It's gonna take a little bit of time. Just keep on working, figuring out what works, what doesn't, and make your adjustments. I mean, 30 points scored is pretty good. 52 points against, not so much. But I mean, at least offensively, they're headed in the right direction. Hopefully, their defense can catch up. What else did you see in Tier 5?
Yeah, so also the field next to me, I got to see Vengeance versus Airbnb. Again, Vengeance is a team that's also coming from last season as well. I believe this is going to be their second season, or it might be their third season, but either second or third. Again, it's a team that they're trying to they're trying to adapt the game. They're trying to get better. They have some small things that they have to fix, but they're getting better. So it's nice to see. I watched them play in Shadowgee. I want to say last year or last winter season, and they didn't look as good as they looked last Saturday.
Okay.
So again, they have some little things that they have to fix on, kind of things they have to like kind of just understand. I didn't get to watch the full game because it was the middle field, and I was on field 1 and it was on field 2.
Right.
So I was kind of just speaking back forth there and back, but they're getting better. So, and then for Airbnb, they're a good team. I think Vengeance could have won that game. I think they've lost by score. I think they lost by two scores, but they could have won that game. I ended up talking to
one of the players.
Yeah, I ended up talking to I believe it's Matthew. He's the captain of that team. He's the quarterback, I believe. I ended up talking to him, and I talked to him when we were at Shadowgee as well, and he was kind of asking me some things, some pointers and stuff like that. And he also realized that they could have won the game, but they had just a lot of little small mistakes that ended up costing the game. So as long as they know that they have to fix and know that they could win the game, they're going to get better. I think that's one of the best feelings when you're getting into a game and you lose it, but it doesn't feel like you lost it because you know that you could have done stuff to win the game. I think that's like the best loss that you could do, that you can have.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
That's pretty much what I saw for Tier 5.
I know one quick score that I'm seeing here, right? A PSTM getting shut out, 14-0, a puff passing, and PSTM winning Division F last spring season. And again, it's a team I talk about a lot here on the podcast because I'm impressed by a lot of the players. Disappointing loss. Credit to puff pass again, laying a shutout no matter what the score is, right? It's still a shutout, so I'm impressed with that. One guy I'll say quickly for Puff Puff Pass, Austin Yazbek McDonald. I'll talk about him later in another division. I saw him play on Sunday. I haven't seen this kid before, but this kid is fast. He had only, looking at it here, 2 receptions, 8 yards. It doesn't say much. Obviously, not a huge factor in the outcome of the game, but he definitely, and he had 2 tackles. Well, he had two pass deflections on defense. And this kid is quick. He plays quarterback in tier 4, I want to say, and obviously not playing quarterback here, but playing receiver and DB. He's a guy I'm keeping my eye on. He's an impact player. But again, credit to Puff Puff Pass for pitching a shutout 14-0 over PSTM. PSM quarterback Jesse Kolarzik, 9 to 23, 73 yards, 3 INTs. That is not a recipe for success. So let's see if they can rebound. Looking at the upcoming schedule here, so I know on Thursday night there's 3 games going on. Friday, though, the action starts. Very good football team, so they're back in action against the TD Brothers. Vengeance, the team you talked about, they're taking on the Bloodline on Saturday. Uh, Airbnb taking on Illegal Alien. I'm actually looking forward to that game. That's going to be in Broussard on Saturday. I think you're in Broussard on Saturday, right, Quaysie, for scorekeeping?
Yeah, exactly. One field.
Okay.
3.
Okay, so that should be a game. This is on field 1, but you have a chance to check that one out, obviously. TG's Cafe 67 on Monday at Mary Victoria. And then on Tuesday at Mary Vic, Cafe 67 is back in action again. They're taking on the Shockers. So a lot of big games coming up between basically Thursday and next Tuesday in Tier 5. Let's hop over quick now to Tier 4. So as I was saying, so for me personally, I kept a game in Tier 4 on Sunday night in St. Leo. I'm just going to open that game up here. Yeah, so Tier 4 in St. Leo, I got to score key Bible study. So a team with a bunch of the Cristianos on it. So Rocco, Dad Mikey, Evan Vavinus. They were taking on Sans Pression. So Sans Pression there's a bunch of ex-football guys on that team. There's one guy I know, Christopher Mbaya, used to be a defensive back for McGill. He's on that squad. A couple of the guys I've recognized a lot of the names from a lot of the guys on their team, and they play like they're former tackle guys. There's at least I think 3 or 4 penalties for like unnecessary roughness. Nothing malicious, nothing cheap. They no dirty shots or anything. Just guys going hard and trying to go through people to get to the ball. I think for a couple of the guys, a lot of them was their first time or it's their first season playing FPF. So you got to get used to those rules, especially if you're coming from tackle. But I came away impressed though. There was some playmakers. There's a couple of guys I've seen on the team. So Marvin Renault, an FPF vet, like from back in the day, even when I started playing, he came in just before halftime. So he made a couple plays or two for his squad. Walker Jacquette, Ross Witcher, Truth. They got some playmakers on this team. Their quarterback is a new guy. I've never seen him before. I'm gonna get his name. I apologize. He's long. His brother's long. I'm sure he plays football. So he plays another position. Yeah, it's Isaac Chavanez. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. This guy has to be about 6'3", 6'4", super long. I think he has like a 6'7", 6'8" wingspan. He's athletic as heck. He's not a horrible quarterback. He's not bad. He needs a bit more touch on some of his throws, but he has good vision. And I think with more reps, this guy would be really good. A team of athletes. They were about, I think I want to say 10 or 11 deep, maybe. They got some players. Just I think they just need to get more reps as a team together to really find their gear. They're 0-2 right now, but because they lost a Bible study. But I think throughout the season they should be improving.
Yeah, especially during especially understanding flag too, because if you said there were more tackle guys to kind of change from go from tackle to flag. Sometimes some guys are fast to the change in the game, and then some guys it takes a bit of time for them to adapt. So I feel like, and we see that often. We see a lot of guys that go tackle and play flag. Like some of them understand it quickly, and then some take some time to kind of understand how. Even just to take out the flag, a lot of times when you're trying to deflag someone, you kind of lean into your shoulder, and then all of a sudden it's contact, 15 yards going up, and you don't get their flag, or even trying to a lot of times when people are making catches, you try to play the ball, right? You try to knock the ball out of the guy's hands.
Exactly.
Small little things like that, body to body, a little contact here and there, where sometimes you do get away with it, but most of the times you don't. So it takes time to kind of just adapt to all the rules and stuff.
Yeah, so they got this one guy on the team, Ben Pierre. I'm sure this guy has played middle linebacker somewhere before. This guy, he came onto the field. I think he came about 5 minutes into the game, and I saw him on the sideline. I was like, yeah, that guy plays ball. 100%. That guy plays ball. He was moving. He's a big boy. He's a big body. But he was moving. He was kind of going through some guys as well. Yeah, I think he got one or two penalties, but and he's a guy that I like his instincts, and I think again, the more he plays here in FPF, the better he'll be. I'm just on their team profile right now, trying to see if he's played before. Again, he's got his bring. He has size, but he has speed as well. So that's obviously something you want to see. And so I would so yeah. So they used to be unseen
Okay.
before being super echelon. They were unseen. So yeah, some of the guys actually do have some stats here and FPF. The tenure isn't as long for a lot of them, but I mean, yeah, they have some FPF experience. So I mean, again, get a couple more games under the belt, it should be all right.
Nice.
What anything else? Did you see
Yeah.
any
So
games for tier
just
four?
yeah, just so the one so I was actually who was I talking to? I was talking to Breezewell and Anthony Breezewell for the ones
Yeah, yeah,
that don't know him. He's a Division One player, five player,
yep,
played for Team Canada. I also played to play. I played so I played Breezewell since we were younger, since we were 13 to like 18 in Seville. But so we were both scorekeeping, and one thing we always kind of talk about when we're scorekeeping like higher divisions or lower divisions, usually higher divisions, we kind of like we're always wondering, we're always looking at like who's playing here, and we're always like, yo, if we would ever play in certain divisions, like are we ever going to see each other play in like tier 5 or tier 4 and tier 3, right? And
yeah,
most of the time, you're just like, no, because I feel like sometimes when people play tier 4 or tier 5, a lot of times they never played flag before, or they just haven't played the sport in a while and they're just trying to get into it.
Mhm.
So many guys are uncontrolled when they're playing the sport.
Yeah, yeah,
So, like when you're making a catch, like there's a body in front of you, and it's like yes, when you
yeah,
do play competitive, you do have a body in front of you, but the person that's coming down is more controlled. They're not just going to blow off your head,
yeah.
or
Sure,
they're in
it's true.
control of where their body is. So, unfortunately, in a lot of times in tier 4, tier 5, it's a lot of times where a lot of the injuries do happen. Especially and
Mhm.
most of the time, it's kind of funny. It's kind of it's not most of the time that when it does happen, it's not even where it's contact from a receiver from a DB. Sometimes it's receiver and receiver. Both the guys are kind of running each other, or they're both going for the ball. The quarterback just throwing it up in there, and you have two guys coming in time.
Yeah,
Or it's the rusher. Sometimes you have some fast rushers, and then you have the most of the quarterbacks. They don't have a certain throwing motion. So sometimes the throwing motions it's kind of weird, or like their arm kind of goes a certain way. And then when rushers come, most of the time when you're rushing in a higher division, you're not really going for the flag. When you play in the lower divisions, you're taught like, okay, hands up, and then go for the
mhm.
flag. You know, in the higher divisions, you kind of go like you're just trying to do whatever you can. And when the ball's thrown, a lot of times you see a lot of unnecessary contact on quarterbacks.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
I was watching the game. It was Richard versus Flag Dealers, and the rusher for Flag Dealers, he kept coming. So the quarterback for Richard is Jeremy Steinberg.
yeah.
He was on our show,
Yep.
and the rusher for Flag Dealers, he kept coming in, but like he was always super close of either batting the ball or hitting Jeremy's arm. Like it was
Yeah,
always in between. There was like
yeah,
he
yeah.
was never close to the flag. He was always close to batting the ball or getting the flag or
Mhm.
hitting his arm. So I think it was like it was close to halftime. I want to say, or like maybe a minute or 2 minutes in halftime. This is not my game. I was kind of looking back and forth. And at one point, I think Jeremy, they're like at the 10-yard line, and Jeremy, I think he's gonna hit like an out. One of his receivers about to do an out. He's
Okay.
about to throw the ball. The
Mhm.
rusher comes down like with his hands in the air, and he swings down, and he just like hit Jeremy's forearm, and I believe
Oof.
something
Okay.
snapped because
Oh wow.
he went down. He was crying. They wanted to call the ambulance. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but he was on the floor for maybe about 15 to 20 minutes. We do have a ref that he used to be a police officer, and he has his like first aid.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So he came. He was actually, fortunately, he was one of those refs there. So he kind of came. He tried to get his arm up. He wanted to see what's happening, but supposedly they heard like some sort of snap whatever. But Jeremy was screaming, and then after that, he kind of got like he started screaming at the beginning, and then he it seemed like he was kind of a bit better, but he couldn't get off the field by himself. So he was on the field for maybe 15, 20 minutes. And
Yeah.
they want from when I was told they wanted to call the ambulance. I'm not sure exactly sure if they actually did call them, but
Okay.
it took them about 20 minutes. It took them about 20 minutes to come off the field, and then they kind of basically ended ended the game at halftime, and they brought the next game, so they didn't have a detour, a delay.
Right. Right. Okay.
But all
Okay.
this to say is, guys, like, be careful, especially when you're rushing, and try not to have contact when don't try to avoid unnecessary contact. Like, I know the rusher wasn't trying to do it on purpose, but when he came down, he was uncontrolled of coming down his arm, you know. So, but yeah, that's what I saw for division.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, so first and foremost, speedy recovery to Jeremy Steinberg. I know for that team, Richter, he was a big part of them last year. Obviously, a big part of them this year, even though the season's just getting underway for that squad. So hopefully he doesn't miss too much time, and hopefully he's gonna be okay. To keep on doing whatever he does. It's funny. I ran into him on Friday. I was driving up to the McGill U of M game, and I just randomly I parked my car. I was crossing my street to walk up the hill to get into the stadium, and like someone was honking at me, and yeah, it ended up being Jeremy. So I was like, let's give a what's up, whatever.
Yeah.
So shout out to him. Hopefully, yeah, he gets better soon. Yeah, man. Yeah, like you said, like lower divisions. I've been told this as well. I played Division 6. I think it was 6 years ago, maybe. And for the most part, not too many guys are reckless. But I mean, now with FPF expanding as it has, right? I mean, you get more and more lower division teams, and that has been the worry from higher division guys and just people in general about some of the lower division guys and females as well being reckless. It comes with getting to know the game, right? As you said,
Mhm.
and we just ask that you try to take caution out there. Listen, the majority of players have to go to work
Yeah.
or school the next day, right? So no one wants to be going home via ambulance or walking away with an ice pack or a devastating injury, right? So let's all just try to be safe, be smart there, smart on the field, right, with our bodies and how we're moving because football's a fast game. Just gotta try to keep your head on the swivel and just be aware of what you're doing.
Hmm.
All right, looking at the matchups, so a ton of obviously in this division, a ton of matchups.
Yeah.
There are two taking place here tonight. We're recording this on Thursday. Friday, surprisingly, only one game Friday. First down sniffers against Bible Study. That's actually, I think that could be a shootout. I'm looking forward to that one. Again, Bible Study, a big win over Saint Pression. I came away impressed with them. The Peckers, Dragon Magic, kickoff Saturday. Briscoe Hawks, Voodoo, Ayers University, Richter, sophomore Excel exchange students taking on Rum and Coke. So that's going to be, I think, that could be potentially the game of the weekend here. Studs, Ballhawks, Super Troopers, Dragon Magic, another good game. Nut and Run, Ayers University, Ballhawks, Toon Squad, FC Big taking on Glow Gang. So FC Big against Glow Gang, that has potential for some fireworks as well, at least offensively. And we have Bamba Don't Break against Show Me Your TDs, Dog Walkers, Texas Whales. So battle of the dogs versus the whales. No flags given. Monstars, Sour Puts, First Down Sniffers again on Monday. Also, we have Not Fast Just Furious against Brewers. Shout out to Peas. Not Fast Just Furious playing a game one night later against Uncle Rico's Riders. Briscoe Hawks, no flags given. The Peckers, Chomedy Chodes. This is a lot of teams. we go into like Wednesday, October 1st with two games. Nothing run against Super Troopers, and that's a good play on words right there. And Show Me Your TDs taking on Studs. Wrap up week 4. That's a lot. I'm not going to tell you how many games that were. If you want to count them yourself, feel free to go ahead and do it. It's a lot of games between tonight, Thursday, and next Wednesday, October 1st. Let's hop over now to tier numero 3. So tier 3, looking at it, are there any games you did in tier 3?
Uh, I did the tier three. Let me just look at it. Yeah, I did tier three. I did Killer Rays versus
Yep.
Mama Boys.
Okay.
I did that. Killer Rays is again. Killer Rays is a team. I was gonna pull it up.
It was like Curtis Ryan, Tyler Bianchi, I believe those.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a
Yeah.
veteran team.
Yeah.
Uh, the fact that I think they're a bit too good for tier three, but I think they'll be just.
Mm.
I think they're too good for tier three, but they'll be too bad for tier two.
Yeah, no, they're a tier three team. They're tier three.
You think they're a tier three team?
Yeah, this is a team that started off in like 5 or 6, and they've slowly risen
Okay,
up. Right? I don't think.
I just think because well, because I played them before. I don't remember what division I played. I think I played them Division three. I want to say.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I want to say I played Division three. So their core is always the same guys, right? They always have their. I just want to pull up
Yeah,
stats.
you know what? I think they might have played tier two. I could be wrong. I think they might have played tier two last fall. So I remember playing. I played tier two last fall, and I remember seeing them in the standings, if I'm not mistaken. And I didn't play against them, but I remember I'm 90% sure I saw them in the standings. I mean,
Yeah. So
they,
they're usually the same. They usually have the same amount of. They usually have the same core guys, right? You have
yeah, yeah,
Tyler as
yeah.
quarterback. You have the other Tyler that's a great receiver. Then you have Jared that's also really good, and then you have
Jared
Curtis,
Raney,
which
yep.
is like him and Curtis Tyler's connections.
Yeah, yeah.
And a lot of their play calls are they do this. They run the same thing. Their offense is exactly the same thing. He has
Yep,
the shovel pass, the
yep,
red
yep,
zone where he goes
yep.
one under, he goes triple slants left, one over, one under, one over. Same
Yeah.
offense, works well, plays well. So they won that game. They won the game 32-21.
Yep.
Mama Boys, I believe they're missing their quarterback. I feel like for some reason, Mama Boys they have George Spano. That's the quarterback for that team. He wasn't
Hmm.
there, and I believe the
He's good.
quarterback
He's a good player.
was Kyle. I think they had Kyle Falkerson.
Yeah, Fulkerson. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he came to sub in. I could be wrong. Maybe
Okay.
George is a receiver there, and Kyle's actually the main quarterback. But for some reason, unless George plays in another division, but I think George plays quarterback tier three. So they end up having Kyle's quarterback. He did okay. Just the offensive power of Killer Maurice was just a bit too much, and
Mhm.
they took advantage. They were able to do whatever they not whatever they wanted, but Tyler felt comfortable making a lot of his throws. And then whenever they were in red
Yeah.
zone, they ran the same thing. If you like, pretty much they go one under, one over, and they basically make the corner make a decision. Either you're taking the quick flat to the first cone, or you're taking the second pylon. And he pretty much whenever they're in
Right.
red zone, I think they ran the same exact play. I think they scored 5 touchdowns. They ran the same exact play to the left side. They always got to the red zone pretty close, and they ran
Okay.
exactly the same play. And the other hit pylon, first pylon, second pylon, are back in the end zone.
Okay.
They end up winning that
All
game
right.
32-21.
Yeah. So definitely a blowout. All right. I did. I covered the Sunday. And San Leo. I did Pasta Rabiata taking on Le Gros Larve. So that kid I mentioned obviously earlier, Austin Yazbek McDonald. He only went 7 of 24, 79 yards, one TD, one INT, but he's playing with a hip injury. But this kid, he was throwing the balls. He was throwing a lot of balls. He must have had about 6 drops from his receivers. So they definitely did not do him any favors. One guy came away impressive. I remember seeing this guy in the summer season, I believe. Saw him again. Marlon Pace. He didn't have any catches. He had 3 sacks on defense. This guy, I remember just watching him. I was in the winter or spring season, one or the other. And I remember thinking to myself, this kid is fast. This kid can move. He can cut on a dime. I did see him last season when I saw him. He made some plays at receiver. Unfortunately, he didn't do so on Sunday night. But this kid's quick. So obviously, it's an offense. They need to score more than the, I think, yeah, 6 points they did. They lost 27-6. But there is some potential there. Rafael Caron, I've seen him throw a ton. The quarterback for the Gross Lars, he was on fire, 13 of 19, 106 yards, 4 touchdown passes. He was spreading the ball around to everybody. There's a guy who I saw sub with Juan Edcho and Rocco Cristiano's team this past spring. The name of the team is Poseidon's Kiss. They had Vincent Bolulo subbing for them. He rushed. I think he got 2 or 3 sacks in Division B. He is the main man on this team. He was catching almost everything that went in his direction. only 55 yards, but he was burning his guys deep. On defense, he really made an impact. He had an INT. He led all players with 4 tackles. Definitely a baller. Philip Barrows, who's played last season as well. I'm forgetting the other team. My apologies. I'm gonna check it now here while I'm on the website. He had a couple of grabs. He had 2 touchdowns for his squad. All that to say that Les Gros Larvas, they have some size on their team and they have a ton of speed. The quarterback Cameron, I've seen him play a lot. He's impressive. The snapper Guillaume Boulanger played quarterback in the lower division this past spring. He's the snapper here. He's a good safety valve for his quarterback. He's actually like a big dude. Like he's a big dude, like size wise and height. He's like the perfect tight end over the middle of the field. He has good hands. I like this team. I honestly came away like impressed with the Go Larvs. They'll play better teams than Pasta Rabiata, but I mean, from what I saw, like these guys, at least offensively, they can score in a lot of teams.
Okay. I actually got to, I was to kind of go back. Remember we were talking about their Bear Belly Brigade,
Yeah, maybe the brigade. Yeah,
and we were saying that they had 2 games, right? And if they're gonna ask for their subs, because I was like, oh, they have to game on Saturday and Sunday.
right,
We
right,
talked
right.
about this on it was on the Wednesday, I think we did the podcast last Wednesday.
Yeah,
So literally after the podcast was done, the next day they wrote their post and they asked to get some subs in.
of
And I
course.
actually got to kind of watch the game on the Saturday night when they played STEMU. I think they played
Yeah, stim you. Yeah,
STEMU.
STIMU.
So they won the game 46-40. I'm not exactly sure who subbed for their game. I know they got someone. I just don't remember. I don't know their roster, but they ended up winning that game 46-40. And the following, and then on the Sunday they beat Mount
But that's tier
Mongoose.
three, though, right?
Sorry.
You're talking tier three now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tier three.
Sorry, I went.
That's right. No, so it's a little prelude to what's gonna happen when we talk about tier three.
Sorry, I got excited.
Yeah. Well, finish up. Okay, so you know what? Tier four is gonna be good. Sorry, Philip Barrows. He played for the Super Turbo Navas. That's where I've seen the name before. Good player on the rise here in FPF. Okay, so okay, you know what? So finish your thought. Finish your thought on tier three. So I'll wrap up tier four after you finish talking about this
Oh
game
no,
here for tier
wait,
three.
Brent, we're talking about tier 3
Yeah, really? Yeah,
now. Yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah, sorry. I'm not gonna lie. This is the longest I've been on a new website. I've tried multiple times the last couple of weeks, and it's throwing me for a loop. All right, so my bad. Then I apologize. because I was
In my
showing you
head, I was like,
tier
no,
four.
we talked about Mama Boys and Killer Rays, and they were tier 3, and then we said,
Yeah,
I don't think they, yeah. Anyways.
yeah. My bad. But my bad on that. I got to take the L on that one. My bad. I apologize, sir. Continue on.
But anyways, they got their subs. The subs that they got
Yeah,
clearly helped them, and they're starting their season off 3-0.
yeah. Very true. Very true. And listen, like we said last time, right? This is a team that they're looking for subs all the time. Hence what we were talking about last week, right? And well, I'll give these guys credit. They talk a lot of trash when you play against them. I'll give them credit. Like the fact that they're able to kind of keep on with their flow, I guess you could say, and in this case keep on winning when always trying to incorporate new guys into the lineup. Like that's impressive because not every team could do that.
Mm-hmm. They just have to make sure for their subs, it's either gonna be eligible to play or make sure that their
Yeah,
regular players
yeah,
play games, because that's what could get a bit sticky.
100%, 100%. Just looking at it here, so looking at this group schedule here for tier three. So we have a lot of games coming up. So obviously Thursday night, one game, Bruins or Pats. It's actually kind of fitting, Bruins and all Pats. I mean, if you're a Boston, New England fan, that kind of just makes sense, I think. Um, and here, so yeah, Sugar Daddies. I think Nick Blade's the quarterback now, so it's Sugar Daddies mutation. Pastor Rabiata, Snowden, Deli Deegans. So you mentioned obviously with Jeremy Steinberg being hurt, it's going to be interesting to see how that affects Snowden and Deli Deegans. He's obviously the rusher, a big part of their team. Mutation back in action on Saturday, taking on Team Sexy, Beer Belly Brigade, Mama's Boys, Mofos, Old Pats, Stimu, you talked about earlier. So Stimu against they grow larves. I mean, that should be exciting. Two quarterbacks are going at it. I didn't have a chance. I talked briefly a few weeks ago about Noah DeLulo Langier, former Champlain Cavaliers quarterback, now the quarterback for STEMU. So I expect that could potentially be a shootout in that game. Two quarterbacks who like to air it out. Bomb, Penetrators, the two veteran teams there. Team Sexy, Win Diesel, Mangoose, STEMU, like you talked about. Stone Deli Deegans, Killer Rays, TBD, taking out Mama's Boys. Monday, Hustlers against Bomb. Tuesday, Penetrators, Mofos, Killer Rays, Mangoose, Black Vipers, Sugar Daddies. Next Tuesday, that wraps up Tier 3.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that was the former quarterback at Champlain.
Yeah, so basically what it was is he backed up Emerson.
Okay.
Emerson's first year, it was Delulu Langelier's second. Uh, I think Delulu Langelier replaced. I'm forgetting why I can't be forgetting the guy's name. It'll come to me after the quarterback. He ended up he graduated. He's a really good quarterback. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name right now. So Delulu Langelier basically kind of had, I want to say, a year for himself to throw, but they recruited Emerson. Emerson kind of replaced that guy, and the guy Abdul Laje graduated. Decent quarterback. Like I've seen him play a couple games here and there. Like yes, he has some skills. Obviously, I guess he elected not to play ball afterwards, and now he's playing FPF. So great for him. I mean, it's a good addition to our league because he's a smart quarterback and he's athletic too. So it's good. It's good to see.
Mm-hmm.
Phil Peltier is a quarterback. He used to play for Champlain. My bad. That's who did a little Langer kind of replaced at Champlain.
Okay.
Another FPF quarterback actually, Peltier. All right. So yeah, let's hop into tier 2. So tier 2, I had a chance. I score kept. Looking at it here.
Okay.
Some of the games I score kept on Monday night. So it's funny. So obviously being in the league for a long time. KGP Origins. So there's KGP, regular KGP, and 5v5 competitive, and there's KGP Origins in tier 2. So obviously a lot of the same guys: Jonathan Garfinkel, James Aker, Gabe, D'Amico Mazza, obviously Phil Cutler, taking on Hard Eight, Jeff Rosenblatt's team. So this game, I'll be honest, was not close. It was a 26-12 win for Hard Eight. It just felt like it wasn't even that close, to be honest with you.
So you score kept this game?
Yeah, score kept it on Monday, Saint Laurent.
Okay. Was that the official score, 26-12?
Uh, that's what I have here on my tablet. Hold on. Again, it's let me double check here. I remember it being, it felt like a larger score than that. I'm just gonna triple check here, but I know I have it here 26-12 on my tablet. Um, on the website. Let me double check here to see what it says on the website. Yeah, 26-12. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm just curious because
Yep.
one of the guys said the score was wrong. I probably said it was like 33-19 or something.
33-19.
Yeah.
Let me check that
I
out.
don't know. I'm not. That's.
Yeah.
I don't want to go.
I don't know. Jeff is playing, so Jeff didn't say anything to me, so I'm going to assume the score is right. Actually, you know what? Mm, no, but I think the score was right. Yeah, the score was right.
Okay. So
Yeah. No, I'm wrong actually. Anyways, okay, let me. Yeah, sorry, my mistake actually. I'm just realizing something right here. The score.
from what I heard, it's supposed to be 34-20 or 33-19. They said
Yeah, so no, I have. Sorry, I'm wrong. I have 32-19. Yeah, I have 32
okay,
19.
so they're missing
Yeah.
a touchdown.
Okay, so yeah, 32-19.
Anyways,
So
it's still a 2 points.
yeah, and my apologies again. As people know right now, you being a scorekeeper as well. The new League Suite software, amazing, and the idea is amazing. Just the execution is it's working on some bugs right now.
Yeah.
So some of the scorekeeping stats aren't exactly how they should be. Hence, what's going on right here, right now. I'm fixing this live. Um, yeah. Anyways, like I said, so either way, hard 8 won for sure. The score again will be updated later. I believe it's 32-19 was the actual final score in that game. I will be updating that. But yeah, just like again, this hard 8 team, it's they're let's be honest, they're a tier 1 team playing tier two because a lot of the guys play on other teams in tier one, and Jeff's obviously like some of the ratings and some of the guys like are not as high. Like guys like Flutus Clermont rating's not too high. Adam Malinoff, his rating for now is not too high, so they're able to squeeze some of these guys into this tier two team. Right, Chrisley Bazil, former Connu player, is on this team as well. He made a lot of impact players. Basically, Hardy has a ton of speed and a ton of size. These are my favorites. Honestly, I'm ready for division for tier two. These are my favorites to win tier two just because of the roster that Jeff has constructed, as he did just past summer season. I find it's going to be hard to beat. KGP Origins, I mean, it was pretty much like Will Seabag made a ton of plays for his team. Matthew Lepage does Matthew Lepage things. Obviously, the guy's phenomenal. Carl Aki's on the team. Julian Payne. A lot of FPF vets. It's just they just couldn't hang. They couldn't get any stops on defense. And Hardy did what you need to do against Phil Cutler. You have to make his offense one dimensional. He
Mm-hmm.
tried to go deep time and time and time and time again. And you either have Ahmed Bubakar sitting back in coverage, Felix Clermont sitting back in coverage, Sanders sitting back in coverage. So your chances of completing deep passes while having Alex Zalipsky as a rusher or not that high. And that's what they did. They forced him to go deep and they kept on either knocking it away or picking him off, right? He had 3 picks. One of them by Ahmed Bubakar got ran back for pick 6. That's how you beat Phil Cutler teams. You make them one dimensional on offense. And that's what Hardy did.
Yeah. Um, yeah, you have Jeff right now leading team leaders for passing yards. Last 3 games, he's threw for 662.
Mm-hmm.
Not exactly sure how accurate that is, but he's still throwing for at least two. If accurate or not, he's still throwing for at least 220 yards per game.
Right. Yep.
It's not bad. So I actually got to score keep Idaho UW versus Mongoose on
Okay.
Saturday. That was an interesting game. I almost messed up, to be honest with you, because it was my first time using the new app for scorekeeping.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a bit different.
Yeah.
Compared,
Yeah. Yeah.
compared to the other app, I'm able to multitask way more.
Mm-hmm.
Something I shouldn't be doing as much, but it's easier to kind of like just it became an easy rhythm, you know. This app here, I didn't get the privilege to multitasking. I was kind of confused on some of the things on like who was passing where. You're able to put where the ball is, midfield, side field, left or right. I didn't understand
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Yeah.
getting me off. PA for extra point. I was like, where's the extra point?
Right.
I was kind of all over the place. So I kind of almost put Idaho in a situation where they were up by, I think they were up by 6, but I had them up by 12, and
Yeah.
I kind of added it because the thing is like I accidentally clicked touchdown instead of first down. I actually clicked for a touchdown instead of first down, so
Yeah. Yeah.
I
That's a
added
mistake I made. That's what I'm fixing now. Yeah.
I added it, and I was just like, and then they looked like, what's the score? I was like, oh, you guys are up by 13, and then I looked, and then I realized I'm like, hey, wait, no, wait, you guys didn't score. You guys got a first down. So then I had to go back, and then I had to tell Brad Brady. I'm like, oh my bad. I was kind of like this, and I kind of like pointed at the score group, and I was kind of like switching it back, and they're on their
Yeah.
final drive, and it was to a point where they're up by 6, and I think there was like maybe like a minute left, and it was like third down. So instead of being up by like 13 or the 12, they're up by 6. So if
Okay.
Mongoose got a stop, they could have a chance to score. So in their head, like, okay, we're up by 13, the game's pretty much over. You know, up by
Yeah. Yeah.
13,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
It changes how you play defense for sure.
yeah. So, anyways, they end up getting a first down. So, like, they kind of didn't save me, but it just made it so much easier. They got a first down. They called the game done. Brady played Brady. You know, as again,
Mm-hmm.
I talked about it before. I think during the regular season, he has a crazy regular season, and then he starts. I think that's when he starts to struggle when it comes more into the playoffs. So hopefully that kind of changes because I do think Idaho is also one of the clear contenders to win
Yep.
division, to win the tier two. I think
Mm-hmm.
they always have a really good roster, but
Yeah.
I think it comes down to the quarterback at the end of the day. So Brady
Okay.
has a big job for him moving forward. I think they're going to have a great regular season. Looking at the standings, they're 2-0, points for 81, points against 73. So
Okay.
pretty much they're winning games and they have to win games. Um, and yeah, so,
All right. All right, looking ahead at the upcoming schedule, Monday night. Both so there's two games at Mary Vic this week, one on Monday, one on Tuesday. The Monday night is Flag Slayer Corp taking on Camping Boutin, and then Mangoose, who we just talked about, taking on KGP Origins. That'll be Tuesday at Mary Vic. That'll wrap things up for tier two. Let's move over now to tier one. So looking at tier one right now, at least schedule wise. I know for did you do any games in tier one? Because I know I didn't have any tier one games.
tier one, I did not do any games.
Okay. All right. So what we can do then? So let's just hop in. When I was looking at
But
the
tier one,
schedule,
but tier one, no, I didn't do any games tier one.
well, there was only one game that took place, and that was Saturday. Actually, well, in Broussard, it was Party Crashers knocking off Easy W
Yeah,
26 to
so
14.
I didn't do tier one, but I did talk to Jean Slee after the game was done.
Okay.
The quarterback there. They actually, that's one thing I was saying for tier one, Party Crashers defense is going to be freaking disgusting.
Yeah,
Um,
of course. Yeah, yeah.
they're going to be a disgusting team on defense. Again,
Hmm.
the guys that they brought in, I just want to look up their.
Well, you just got to look at some of the names they have, right? Yeah, first of all, like it starts with Jean starts with Jean Lee, right? You have Jean Lee on defense. You're doing all right. You're doing okay, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
where's their this roster?
you look at this rush. I'll tell you. I'll tell you the roster right now. So it's why is it not coming up here?
Yeah, it's not opening. I'm on the same thing. So you have
Ah,
Jean Slee, you have Vinci.
yeah, Vincent
Um,
Bianchi, yeah.
yeah,
Mendel
they're
Joseph.
signing. I believe they brought Inuk. Uh, he's a
I hear you.
player that used to play. I played him in CJ, but he ended up playing for Montreal after. Great linebacker. You have Ezeki as well as that kind of plays all around.
Yeah,
Dawson Chai didn't show up this game.
yeah.
Bijan
Ethan
Flynn.
Laconzo,
Uh,
Jordan and Alexi, like
yeah,
Frankie
exactly.
Hogue. Yeah,
I think Fitz was there for the game. I'm not 100% sure. But again, if all these guys actually show up and they start having communication, they're going to be a scary team to play
yeah.
against. But even
Hmm.
at that, again, Party Crash is a team where they always have pretty much the best defense.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
the
Rightfully so.
biggest issue for them is
Rightfully so.
it's a bit communication, and I feel like sometimes they don't bring the flag aspect. They don't bring their tackle into flag, and they kind of just sometimes they kind of mess up assignments, and a lot of time they go into a man coverage, and a lot of flag is it's concepts, right? So
Yeah.
one
So,
goes in, one goes out, and
mhm.
kind of I don't care who you are, I don't care how fast you are. If you have a drag, you have to run across the field to get it. It's hard for you to make a play. You know,
Yeah, for
especially
sure,
with
for
that
sure, for
coming
sure.
underneath. So one of Party Crash's biggest issues when it comes to that because they physically could play man versus everybody. But again, this Party Crasher team, if we're gonna see in the next couple of weeks exactly see who shows up and who doesn't show up. But if they have a good 80% of these players show up and they actually play during
Yeah,
the season, they're going to be very scary.
100%. One thing I will say about ECW. So again, like I said, they last week they didn't play in the spring season. They're back now. They have a legit offense, and the fact that Party Crashers held them to only a couple of points, right? Well, two touchdowns says a lot. I am though happy to see. So Theo Cleach, I'm happy to see he's playing for ECW. This is a guy I've seen the last couple of seasons, playing in a lot of lower divisions and the middle divisions. I always thought this guy should be playing in one of the top divisions. So now, obviously, in Tier One, I'm glad he's making his debut. And a guy I talked about a little earlier tonight, right? Vincent Belulo. He could rush, but on this team, obviously with JC Ferlon, you don't need another rusher. JC Ferlon is one of the best in FPF. Vincent Belulo is playing defensive back. He had 5 tackles more than anybody in the game. So obviously, again, two lower division guys in the passing, Cleach and Belulo not making their presence in the top division here in Tier One. So it's good to see. It's good to see.
Something else to say about ECW is remember they're not technically fully used to the five on the 66 new rules where it's midfield, right? Um, ECW played 5-on-5 last
Hmm.
season,
Mm.
where Jeremy White was trying to adapt to the new ruling where he was able to run and first down was midfield. So
Mm.
6v6, he could run now, but first down is still midfield. So the fact that
Yeah,
they kind of have to play versus Party Crashers for the first game,
yeah.
you don't have the privilege to throw an incomplete pass on first down. You know, you have to try to get as much yards as possible, especially on first down, because when you get into situations where it's 4th and 9, you're most likely going to have a man-to-man concept, or even third and like
Mhm.
15. Like the further you are, the harder it's gonna be, especially when you're playing versus a team like Party Crash.
Yeah, that's it. All right. Looking at the upcoming matchups, so Braves and Vultures tonight. Saturday, Infantry Braves, so that should be a really good one. Obviously, Joe Mahir, Kevin Wyeth. The rivalry continues. Royal Luminaire, so Jesse Dupree's crew taking on the Vultures, so that should be good. Ben McMahon. Then Royal Luminaire on Tuesday, and Mary Vic takes on the Infantry. And then Child Please, led by Willpower, taking on the Party Crashers. So that's gonna be it's gonna be a shootout. And Mary Vic, that'll be Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, October 1st. So that wraps it up for 6v6. Let's hop into, you want to do women's?
Yeah, let's go with it.
All right. So let's get over to the women's ones, the ladies. So here, looking at it, right? I know. So one game I didn't score keep, but I got to keep an eye on because they were at the same field I was at on Monday. And Saint Laurent, that was Chaos against Icy Hot. So we talked about it a bit last week. Obviously, this is a game we both thought would be a pretty solid game. Both teams did not disappoint. Uh, Chaos, pardon me, actually got the win here. Sorry, I'm just gonna trying to find the final score here because then I did not score keep this game.
32-26 for Chaos.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. I see. Yeah, exactly. 32-26 for Chaos over Icy Hot. That game went down to the wire. Again, every time there was a break in the game I was doing, I was trying to look over to see what was happening. I saw some big plays from obviously a lot of the ladies, a lot of talented ladies in this contest for both sides. Obviously, Gigi, Gigi Geraldine, Gigi Geraldine Cabrillo Bonte. Everyone knows her. Gigi, obviously the best player on either side. 9 catches, 130 yards, 2 TDs. Obviously, Emma Townsend Aslan, friend of the show, 11 catches, 105 yards, 3 TDs. So obviously, those two connected for all 5 of the TDs that Allison Sobo threw. The defense, I think Emma. I saw Emma make an INT late in the game. So from where I was on the field, I was assuming that kind of sealed the deal.
Well,
Um,
looking at it play by play, just looking at the last like 8 plays, it
mhm.
seems like the game was. It seems like Icy Hot was up by was it tied? Icy Hot was up by no, it was tied because the game 30, 26, 20, 32. So it seems Icy Hot was up by 1. It was
Mm-hmm.
26-25. Chaos
Yeah.
Chaos drove down the field. They end up scoring. Emma scored a late touchdown,
Yep.
making it 31-26. They got the 1 point convert, and yeah, 1 point. So they made it a 6 point game. Icy Hot end up having, I want to say, maybe about a minute left because they were able to run. They were able to run 6 plays, so maybe they had maybe a
Uh,
minute and a half left. The
yeah.
first play ended up being a bad snap, then pass by Forter. I believe
Forte. Yep.
yeah,
Yeah. So
Forte.
yeah. All right.
27 yards. I believe they. I believe Icy Hot probably had the ball 27-5 to. They had the ball on like the 5 yard line, 6 yard line. So she had 2 plays, maybe a bit more 2 plays, maybe a bit more than that because the
Well,
last play was interception by
yeah,
Corey.
exactly. Yeah, that's it here. So basically, what it was is I see how I drove down the field. They got within. They got pretty much to the red zone because you look at the yards. Right, simple math. They got 27 yards, and they got 5, then they got 2.
Yeah,
So you're adding. They got 34 yards, right? So they're 6 yards away from the end zone is what it was, and then incomplete pass on second to last play of the game, and the last play was the INT by Leduc to wrap this game up. Yeah, again, a lot of great players on both sides. Um, I mean, you look at Icy Hot, right? I mean, obviously Genevieve Fortier, the quarterback, Jasmine Farmer, right? She's a top player. Annie, Ty's Legacy, obviously the homegirl, Lori Willette. So I didn't realize till later this. So Jessica Ballsy Tampin, obviously the best female rusher and one of the best rushers period in all of FPF. You know, from Sub Zero, obviously Sub Zero not putting in a team this season. She's a rusher on this team, right? She came through. She had a couple of pass deflections and that. So I fully expect these two teams to be the two teams that will be playing for the championship. I could be wrong. I just think that without a shadow of doubt, I think they're the two top teams in this division. This is round one with the chaos. We'll have to see what happens. Probably later in the season. They'll be locking horns again for sure.
Yeah. So I also do think the women's one is going to be divided into two divisions.
Mhm.
There's 8 teams. I'm not exactly sure what teams are going to be in Division
All
One
right.
and Two. I know that the top teams are going to be Chaos, Icy Hot,
Yeah.
Wolfpack, and I think
I
McGill. I
think
think those are the top four. And then
really.
you're going to have Mercenaries, Turf Titans, The Rock, and She
She
Sparks
Sparks. Okay.
in
Yep.
that
Yep.
division. How they're going to divide it after. One thing I do want to say, so again, I think we were both kind of surprised that Chaos did win that game. I thought ICL was going to win the first game and that Chaos was going to win the second game. So we're going to see
I,
if maybe they switch roles. Chaos going to win the first one. ICL is going to win the second one. They also do play each other 4 times this season.
yeah. Well, exactly. Well, that's it. That's exactly. Exactly.
We're gonna see a lot of matchups. I actually got to watch the Mercenary games versus Turf Titans,
Hmm.
and I thought that game was gonna be close, but
Yeah.
Mercenaries they won 45-0.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I'll go in there.
yeah, they again. Maya's the quarterback for that team. Gino was basically just calling plays.
Yeah.
Maya
Gino
was kind
doing
of
Gino
scheming
things.
them. I don't.
Threatening to pull the Canadian rule book for flag football. You know.
Yeah, She Sparks again. Sorry, yeah, sorry, Turf. Yeah, sorry. They played Turf Titans.
Mhm.
Yeah, they played
Yeah.
Turf.
Yeah.
Yeah, they played Turf Titans. Yeah, so they played
Mhm.
Turf Titans. So yeah, I don't think Turf Titans kind of realized what they're getting into.
Right.
I think Turf Titans thought it was going to be a closer game. Versus Series said no. Maya was pretty much able to do what she wanted. She was also a pick machine. She ended up playing the middle in defense, and she kept getting picks. She ended up with 3 picks,
Yeah.
176 yards, I believe 5 touchdowns. The thing that kind of scares me is that Mercenaries plays Turf Titans 4 times this year,
Hmm.
and they play She Sparks 4 times.
Right.
I believe Turf Titans are better than She Sparks by just a bit. So
Yeah, they are. Yeah, 100% they are. 100%. Let's
I'm
go back
kind
to
of
last season.
scared to see how many points Mercenaries are going to end up the season with, and the
Right.
stats
Okay.
with some of these players, and how many picks Miles going to get. Because again, 45-0. Do I think it's going to be 45-0 next game? No. But again, I don't think Turf Titan. Maybe Turf Titan's going to maybe score 1 or 2 touchdowns. I don't think they're going to score more than that. But I do think Mercenaries are going to still go into the 40-yard point score. So I think, and the fact that they're playing Turf Titans, which is supposed to be the best team, was one of the best competitions. Maybe the Rock is going to be a bit more challenging for them for their division, but I think Mercenaries are going to have a crazy season. And stat wise, I think a lot of their girls. I believe Turf Titans last year had the sweep on the rewards. I think they
Yeah.
had. I think Mercenaries this year are going to have the same thing.
Yeah, I think you're right. So just make sure. So you're talking about the Mercenaries Turf Titan games on Saturday, right? That's the one you saw.
Yeah, and the
Okay, so I saw the rematch on Sunday at Stady Bear, and it was the score's not up, but I can tell you 100% that Mercenaries won that game 38-0.
okay, so
Yeah,
we're looking.
yeah, they it was back it's back to I mean listen, you don't want to laugh. It's back to back blows, right? By a combined score, quick math here, 83-0. That is ugly. I had a chance to talk to Lori Willette, the next morning and just ask her what happened. She's just like honestly like she's like um when she's not trying to throw any shade at the Turf Titans, but it is what it is. She's like their offense was kind of easy to decipher.
Mhm.
She's like they didn't do anything that's like their offense did nothing to surprise the Mercenaries defense. Like it was pretty plain, pretty simple. She says one of the and it's a bit of a criticism towards the Turf Titans, but this is something that this team, the ladies, gonna have to use to get better. Maybe she felt like they relied too much on the size advantage that they had, being the Turf Titans relied too much on their size advantage. And she said a lot of the balls were kind of this 50-50 balls. And she was relying, the quarterback was relying on the receivers to kind of just go up and make a play, which you can do that, but I mean, that can't be your only game plan.
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
Uh,
They're gonna have to
yeah,
adapt, But and that's the reason why
yeah, yeah,
you're in this division. Well, sorry, that's the reason why
yeah,
you're playing, right?
yeah,
You're trying to
yeah,
get better, and I think for them it's a good thing because Mercenaries is a team where I don't think they're a top tier team. I don't think they're a bottom tier. I think they're in the middle. So if
yeah,
we had a
yeah,
women's two, I think they would fit perfectly in it. The fact that we don't have this
yeah,
year,
yeah, that's it. Yeah, yeah,
Turf Titans are just gonna have to realize, and they're gonna have to again, they're gonna have to adapt, and they play. They're gonna play. They play the Mercenaries, I think, two more times, October 4th and October 26th. So they get the
yeah. Well,
two more
there you
times
go.
in the schedule. Hopefully,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna adapt. Maybe they'll score a touchdown here and there. But again, I
Mm-hmm.
think it's gonna be good for them because they're learning.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. There you go. All right. Looking quickly at the upcoming schedule. So no games the rest of this week, though. We have something on Saturday, Mercenaries and She Spark. So it's going to be a learning experience for She Sparks. Hopefully, I mean, I like they got a heart. She Sparks. They're a rugged team. They get excited, like to talk a little bit of trash and stuff. Hopefully, they'll come out and give Mercenaries a run. Wolfpack against the Rock Monday night at Steady Bear. Also Monday night, so I'll be scorekeeping this game to be Icy Hot Chaos rematch. So here we go. Here we go. I'm looking forward to that Monday night at St. Laurent. I will be the scorekeeper for that game. And then McGill taking on Chaos the very next night on Tuesday, September 30th. That'll be at Mary Vic. So 4 games coming up this week. The action starts on Saturday. We wrap things up on Tuesday rather. All right. So let's get over to 5v5. Let's do intermediate. Looking at it here. So in the 5v5 intermediate, a couple of things I've been
Actually,
noticing, but
I
yeah,
scored that one game. I
there's
scored
like one game this week. So I mean,
Okay,
blowout.
so there's only okay. So I score kept this game. Green Monster versus the Pack is back.
Yeah.
So I got to score keep that game. Green Monsters coming off. Um, so we kind of talked about this last time. Yeah, there are two wins. So they won the first game.
Mm-hmm.
They won versus Griffin Nation, and now they just beat the Pack is back.
Yeah.
Um, Green Monster looked good. They didn't score that many points. Well, they scored. I mean, they could have scored more points than they did. They got stopped their first drive.
Yeah.
But no, they looked good out there. First half, they didn't have the best half. They only scored six. Second half, they kind of got in control. The quarterback from Green Monster, I believe his name is Jason.
Yeah. Jason D'Souza
Yeah, so he was throwing some dimes. I don't know the guy's name.
for Green Monster.
Remember,
I think it's Jonah Bridges. I think or
I'm looking at the. I'm trying to open it right now. I believe it was number two. He was throwing the ball to.
I feel like on that team. I'll tell you right now.
He was throwing it to. I think Joanne. I think her name was. Joanne. I think it's Joanne. Yeah, Johan Burgess.
Yeah, John Burgess. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so he was throwing dimes to him. He was
Mm-hmm.
making it work. Second half, they kind of had a lot of connections, and they end up scoring 20
Yeah.
in the second half and getting a shutout. They won the game 26-6, and
Yep.
they looked good out there. They
Yep.
didn't have their veterans. I don't think Darnell was there.
I think Dustin Darnell's he's a little banged up right now, so I don't think he's made his debut yet this season.
I didn't see Darnell. I didn't see Patrick. I know those are like I call
Yeah,
them
yeah,
the OGs. They've been there for a while, so they weren't there that game. But again, their team held it down.
yeah,
They only allowed Packers back to score 6 points. Pack and back had a little bust. They weren't able to drive on the field how they wanted to. Um, Kyle Forkinson. He didn't
Ferguson.
have a bad. He didn't have a bad game. It's just they couldn't get they couldn't score. That was their biggest
Yeah,
issue. They
yeah.
got to
Oh,
red
yeah.
zone. They got
Just
into
fun.
red zone a couple times. They just couldn't punch in. They couldn't score,
Right,
and
right.
it came to a point where Green Monster got to stop. And and especially in the second half, Pack is back and driving in the field. They get close to the red zone. They don't score. Green Monster drives in the field. They score. Pack is back, goes
Yeah,
again, drives on the field. They don't score. Green Monster comes down the field, makes a huge play, ends up getting the red zone. They end up scoring. So
yeah.
Pack is back, just kind of has to punch it in the red zone, and this game would have been completely different. But again, the fact that they are able to get into the red zone, it's a good view that
All right.
you're able to drive down. You just have to score.
Yeah, 100%. Well, listen, I mean, the pack is back taking a page out of the Green Bay Packers who screw me in Survivor this past weekend, losing to the Browns. And
That was that game. That game was actually crazy. I was
oh my
looking,
God.
I was looking at the timestamp, and it was like they're like, you wouldn't know it, you wouldn't notice this, but Packers end up losing this game. And that was 14-10. And the timestamp was like there was like 3 minutes, like 47 seconds in the
Hmm.
going into in the fourth quarter, and then you see that it ended 13-10, which is crazy to lose a game like that.
Again,
Especially
I picked him in. I picked him in Survivor. I had three picks in Survivor. I picked the Packers twice, thinking it's the Browns. I realized the Ravens lit up the Browns, like whatever. That's nothing to do with anything. But I'm like the Packers. They seem like a legit contender this year. I'm like, all right, it's the defense for the Browns is good, but I was like the Browns have no offense.
yeah,
I think the Packers. I'm like the Packers could drop 20 on these guys, and I remember just watching the last 10 minutes of the game, and I was like, all right, the pack. There's a turnover. The Browns got the ball. They punched it in. There's still plenty of time left on the clock. Yeah, Jordan Love threw that. I had Jordan Love in fantasy as well. So it was a crappy football weekend for me. Yeah, my Niners are 3-0, but then Nick Bosa tore his ACL. So I mean, our season's done.
but
Um,
really,
yeah, he tore his ACL in the game. I was watching the game and I was like,
when he
yeah,
got hurt, I know I saw him get hurt.
yeah, he planted the wrong way. It happens, whatever. It is what it is. The young guys we drafted this year will get a lot of reps. So, I mean, that's the one kind of silver lining. But yeah, going back to this game, Jordan Love threw a horrible, horrible INT. The Browns put it into the end zone. Quishon Jenkins, the rookie running back, got a touchdown. I'm like, all right, still plenty of time here for just tie game is 10-10. Still plenty of time for the Packers. The Packers got the Browns got a PI against them. And then the Packers had like one big play. They got them in field goal range. The field goal gets blocked. As soon as it was blocked, I'm like, it's still 10-10. I was like, yeah, this game is over. And of course, I watched the Browns march on the field and kick the game-winning field goal. And I was like, yeah, there goes my Survivor pool. Anyways, whatever. I picked the Falcons as well in Survivor with my third pick, and of course, they got smoked by the Carolina Panthers because I
Yeah,
mean,
that was crazy too.
yeah,
30 to
yeah,
0.
yeah. Oh man, and I talked myself out of picking the Bucks against the Jets because I said the Jets defense is decent, at least I thought it was, and the Bucks had a ton of injuries because they played their Texans like the Monday night before, and they had a ton of injuries. The Bucks coming out of that game, they're missing like three old starting O linemen, missing one of their starting D linemen. They were banged up. I'm like, okay, you know what? Tyrod Taylor was in there. I was like, I think Tyrod Taylor's a better quarterback than Justin Fields. I was like, all right, I'm not gonna touch this game. I literally talk myself out of it 5 minutes before 12 when the deadline to get the picture in. And yeah, anyways, I'm not a survivor. It's good times. But anyways, going back to FPF as my bitterness continues. Friday night we have Green Monsters, so they're back in action against the Pack is back, so a rematch. Hopefully, the Pack is back shows up for that one, and then backfield penetration. Two veteran teams going against another veteran team in Blue Dry. They've battled a lot of times in the regular season in the playoffs. I expect this game to be a shootout, and this wraps up 5v5 intermediate. Let's go to 5v5 competitive. In the last like 5 to 10 minutes that we have here, can't believe we're almost at 2 hours, and we thought we had so little to talk about. Okay, so looking at the schedule here for 5v5 club. What was that, Ali Reza? Sorry, 1 hour and 4 minutes. Okay, cool. The timer on my screen says an hour and whatever, hour and 45 minutes.
It's probably
I'll
when
listen to you.
you're going.
Yeah, a lot of the talking before we go there. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, so we had you're looking at two games took place. Montreal Magic, wow, laying a beat down 64-16 on Has-Beens.
Mhm.
Oof. And then KGP. So this is odd. So I did the KGP Raw Dogs game. I talked earlier, right, for tier 2, how Hard 8, again, Jeff Rosenblatt's team, laid a beat down on KGP Origins. So basically, after that game ended on field 1, basically the guys just switched sides. One or two extra players came per team, and they basically just kept on the same jerseys and played a different game. But this time now in 5v5,
Yeah.
KGP blew out Raw Dogs in this game.
Mm. Yeah, I saw that. They 30. Yeah, 31-12.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'll be honest, there's not much to report. Basically, the KGP offense, which looked horrible in the tier two game, woke up and just they were all over the place. They were killing the Raw Dogs with the short passing game. They're killing, especially in the second half. They outscored their opponents 19-6. It's just the Raw Dogs just simply had no answer for KGP. And I'll tell you what, KGP, why I really give them credit, they had two injuries in this game. So Rory Emerging, obviously one of the best receivers in all of F and two-way players period in all of FPF, he got hurt. He had a lower body injury on an end zone shot. The ball went up in the back of the end zone. He jumped up. It came down kind of funny. So he had to sit off for about a series or two. He came back and did his thing. He was furious, though. He was not getting the ball in the first half. He was furious. And he let it be known. So Phil started feeding him the ball a bit, Phil Cutler. But Ethan Adrian, one of the, if not some people even say right now, maybe the top rusher in FPF, he had a groin injury. He had a groin injury. He told me coming in, and he felt a little tweak. So smartly, he took himself out of the game. That was maybe 5 to 6 minutes into the contest, and he basically sat out. So Julien Payma, who's now more of a snapper than a rusher, obviously he's one of the top rushers in FPF history. He ended up rushing for the rest of the game, and obviously that's no big drop off at all, right? Julien Payma,
Yeah.
again, he should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know, understand why he's not, but he filled in the Raw rusher, and again, KGP again dominant victory 31-12 over the Raw Dogs.
Okay, that's surprising. The fact, though, I mean, like,
Yeah.
I would have thought the game would have been a bit closer.
As did I.
But for KGB to win,
It is what it is.
Yeah, and then again, as we said, Montreal Magic just put a beat down on Has-Beens. Down through 8 touchdowns, 311 yards. So again, Has-Beens, it doesn't help the fact that you play versus the Braves, and then you play versus
there you go.
Exactly. Montreal Magic the next matchup. So hopefully it gets a bit easier for them, and they're where they play a team that's not going to drop 50 plus on them.
Well, I mean, schedule doesn't get much easier. They're playing Raw Dogs next Wednesday at Mary Fake. Speaking of has-beens, you talked about Braves and Montreal Magic. So Braves and Montreal Magic are doing battle actually tonight, right now in Laval, outdoors. So I mean, feel bad for them. It's raining. Sorry.
I heard that game was. I heard it was a blowout.
All right. Well, we'll talk about it more next week. But yeah, I mean, I guess so. It's all those. I mean, it's not the warmest. I mean, it's not cold outside, but I mean, it's not super warm and it's raining. So, I mean, if you see some offensive fireworks, I mean, congrats to those guys. See what happens. Saturday, the Braves are back at it, and I'm in Brassard, so you have a chance to check that game out. They're hosting. Sorry, they're playing against KGP, so that should be again 2 veteran teams. Joe Maher against Phil Cutler and the crew, so that should be good. So 3 games in total for 5v5 competitive against Action Stars tonight, and it wraps up next Wednesday. Last division here. Let's go to Co-Ed 3. So looking at Co-Ed 3 here.
I don't think I did any Co-Ed games.
Any games that you did, or?
I'm trying to go back. I completely forgot.
I did not do any Co-Ed 3 games. I saw one, but I didn't, I wasn't scorekeeping it, but I had a chance to look over. Well, I'll be honest, if it was Sunday night, it was the Mavericks beating up on Vicious and Delicious. I mean, listen, Xavier Couture's quarterback is killing it.
Yeah, good so I also got to see that too. I got Mavericks played in Incredibles, and Incredibles was late to the game. It's, to be honest, when you have a game in Brossard, it's Saturday. How the traffic works right now, it's a bitch. When you're coming from the city, it's like it's actually really bad. I remember I was like by Laval, and I was coming back to the South Shore, and it took me like an hour.
That's so far, man. That's the farthest thing ever, Laval to Bristol. That's far, man.
No, but usually that's like 45 minutes to 50 minutes.
Okay.
Hour and 40, and I was like, what the?
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, it was bad. So when I went to go scorekeep, there was a lot of Incredibles they had a lot of players that are late. Ended up giving Mavericks 12 points, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, you can't be doing that.
Yeah, they gave 12 points to the Mavericks, but the game ended 56-20. Xavier got to do it. To be honest, he felt comfortable doing whatever he wanted. whatever you wanted to. If you wanted to pass the ball, you passed the ball. If you wanted to run the ball, you ran the ball. They look good though. We kind of said it at the beginning. They're a young team, but
Hmm.
they have ballers. They have a
Oh yeah, for sure.
they have young ballers, but they have ballers.
Yeah,
Everyone kind of understands what they're doing. Everyone understands their assignments. It's a bunch of players that play FPF.
yep,
That's sorry, there's a bunch of players that play flag for that
yeah,
map.
yeah. That's exactly, exactly.
Like they're everyone they understand how to play and with a quarterback that's kind of like Xavier. Xavier's also a player that plays in those low divisions, right? He's
Hmm.
playing tier one. He's playing co-ed one.
Xavier plays all over the place, man,
Yeah,
and his dad Nick will let you know about it too.
yeah, exactly. So for him to kind of go in there and like, oh yeah, you're gonna play versus.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
co-ed three it's not the best competition. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of boyfriend and girlfriends are kind of like, oh, let's make a team. They kind of make a team. They're not the
Right.
best athletes, not the like that. So when you play versus a quarterback like Xavier, you don't have the best rusher. He's he's
They're gonna
gonna go
eat you
off.
up. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Hundred
he's gonna
percent,
go off, and you can
hundred
see
percent.
it right
Yeah,
now. Mavericks are 3-0. They won their first game 45-6. Second game 56-20. Third
yeah,
game 48-6. So hopefully someone kind of steps up to them. I think the only team they haven't played yet is Route Runners.
yeah.
I think that's
So,
the
so,
one.
so interesting. It's right. Interestingly enough, if I can say that properly, the Roadrunners took on the Incredibles, and then the Incredibles, who got blown out, like you said, by the Mercenaries, they actually blew out the Roadrunners.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's
50 to
one of the
18. Jeez.
yeah. But again, I'm gonna give it to the Credibles. They do have a good roster.
Yeah,
They were missing a couple people at the beginning, and I think it was from that point when you give a team like the Mavericks a lead like that, 12-0, and I think they got the ball right away. So it was pretty much 18-0 to start the game. It's hard to come back when a game like that. So maybe when the Credibles play Mavericks again, they play Saturday, October 4th. So in 2 weeks, we should see if everyone's there on time. We should see it.
yeah. I mean, I agree with you about the Incredibles. Shout out to Nick Saharatos. I've seen him play a lot. He's a good dude. Three catches for 120 yards and three TDs. So this dude averaged 40 yards a catch. Obviously, Adam Malinoff, two TDs in that game. Malinoff's a good dude, and obviously I saw him play obviously with Jeff with Heart Eight and with Raw Dogs. Obviously, he's a good player. Yeah, another touchdown. Catherine Belanger Besner got a TD. So I guess his two sisters is Catherine and Kaylee Belanger Besner. So they both contributed a bit. Looking at this squad, right? I mean, they got a pick six too from Alan Malinow. So we had two INTs in the game and a pick six, and then went over the Roadrunners. So again, for this incredible team, just be honest, you got to show up on time, right? I mean, traffic is a pain going from one field to another, especially if you're playing the same night. So leave early, like get there on time. Again, their quarterback Devin Sandler looked like he was all right through seven TDs in that win. They had one beatdown win and they got humbled by a loss. So again, show up on time, make sure you're acting together. I know there's a couple new players incorporating onto the team. I know Victoria. I'm looking at her last name here. I don't know her last name. Victoria Vieira. I think that's her last name. She's in a class of mine. She let me know she's playing FPF. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna give her a shout out right here. So shout out to Victoria. She had one grab for 18 yards, so that's pretty impressive. Anyways, Victoria, and she actually had four tackles. She led her team in tackles. So shout out to her again. Get your team there on time.
She
Don't
plays.
give 3 points to your opponents.
I was saying she plays for Incredibles, right? You're saying.
Yeah, plays for Incredibles. Yeah, plays for Incredibles. So okay, so we have a rematch. So it's interesting. So, like I said, right, obviously, Incredibles smoked them 50. Roadrunners 50 to 18. They're playing again this Friday, so tomorrow night in Laval Outdoors at 9 p.m. Good luck with that. So Roadrunners and Incredibles Part Two. And Vicious and Delicious will be the next team that tries to beat the Mavericks. Although again, Vicious and Delicious just got smoked 48-6 by the Mavericks. So hopefully, Vicious and Delicious can take something out of that game. I mean, I don't think they're as bad as 48-6. So we'll have to see what they can do. Um, Looking at the roster right here, it says Jean-Philippe Levely. I've seen his name before. He's an impact player. Francis Weeman, I've seen him as well. So there's a couple names, not too many, but a couple names I know on the squad. Hopefully they'll be able to put up a better fight, right? 6 points is not good. And when you give up 48, that's definitely not going to help you win too many games. So we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah,
Good
but
luck to
also
all four teams.
for,
Hmm?
they did play versus the best team in this division.
True. Very true. Very true. Very true. Very
Hopefully,
true.
even though they're playing again, hopefully it's not the same outcome. Hopefully they're able to score some more points and they allow less
Yeah.
points. So when they play versus maybe big steppas, route runners, big
Yeah.
steppas, and incredibles, they'll be able to turn things around.
That's what I'm saying, right? Because 6 points is still 6 points, and 48 points is definitely 48 points, right? So I mean, they
Yeah.
gotta be a bit better on both sides of the ball. Let's go to co-ed two. I score kept two co-ed two games on Sunday. First, Michael Scott's Tots taking on no pads, no helmets, just balls. That's a pretty interesting game. I can't lie. I came away. Obviously, I'm friends with a couple of guys on the Michael Scott's Tots team. I know Zachary Elbers Gill. I don't think double check. I'm not sure if he's actually on this team, but usually he is. When Kenny's on a team, Zach Oberskill always falls, vice versa, right? Those are boys for life. So I mean, like, it is. They had a tough one, unfortunately losing 28-24 to Michael Scott's Tots. Michael Scott's no pads, no helmets, just balls. So a couple of things I just wanted to mention quickly with the squad. I came away thinking, all right, this team and especially ladies, led by Roxanne Waugh, like they got some playmakers, man. This team has some playmakers. Bruno Provencher is the quarterback. Like I came away, I hadn't really seen him too much. I came away like, all right, this guy's a legit quarterback for this division. He can make a lot of throws. He's athletic. He can run when he has to run. They have weapons. There's a guy. So there's one dude who's talking a little bit too much trash for my liking, but it's not talking trash if you could back it up. I'm just trying to find his name. My apologies. Victor. I wrote it down here. The website, of course, is not working properly, so I'm going to find his name here. It is
Victor Raf,
Rio Ratty, I think.
yeah, Rio Fat.
Yeah. It's Victor Rifio Ratty. Yeah, Victor Rifio Ratty for no pads, no helmets. This guy, let's see, he was making plays over the field. He was even saying there was one point he was talking trash. I can't remember who the defensive back was, and Victor said to him, "Oh, you can't guard me." There was something. I think the referee was telling the defender to back up or something because the defender was getting too close to the line of
Yeah,
scrimmage. And Victor's like, "Oh, he can't guard me." And I was like, "Wow, okay." I mean, he was kind of right, but talk a little bit too much trash. I mean, this is tackle. He would have got smoked. Luckily for him, it's not tackle. But yeah, he was talking trash, but he was backing it up. So I mean, props to him for talking that trash and backing it up. But again, I just came away thinking this team is all right. This team, no pads, no helmets, just balls. Again, with so many teams in FPF, even in the spring season, like I know personally I can't see every single team. It is
yeah,
what it is. I'm one person. Same for you. Like you're one person. We can't see every single team. This is a team who we had talked about on the podcast in the spring season, but unfortunately, at least for me, unfortunately, I didn't actually have a chance to see them play. This is kind of my first viewing, first time watching them play. At least this version of it. I've seen some of their players and other teams. I came away impressed, especially with the females. The females on this team, there were some ballers. There were some ballers on the team, and they were making a ton of plays. So it was good to see. And they were involved. It wasn't just girls on the team for having girls on the team. No, these ladies again, led by Roxanne Wall, like these ladies are balling out. So it's cool. I'm happy to see that.
so I know for the biggest issue that they usually do have for the pads is they usually get sponsors slow on the
Yep.
team,
Yep.
and the biggest issue with that is that sometimes it's to a point they get him, they probably I think they get someone else, and it brings their cap up too high, so it forces them to go into Division One, Co-ed One, and when they're in Co-ed One, Francis misses too many games, and it's the point where your top player is missing so many games.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
only reason
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
you're in
Yeah.
that division
As
is
a
because
trickle
of
down
him,
effect.
and
Yeah.
it's like you're missing your star players. So
Yeah.
the fact that now they're in division, usually they do. They bounce back. They usually go to tier one, co-ed one, co-ed two, and they kind of switch here and there. But now they're in co-ed two, which it's more comfortable for them. They are 1-2, but I feel like the two games that they did lose before I start talking nonsense, they lost by one. They lost by one versus Kamikaze, and then they
Nonsense.
lost. And then they lost by versus Mixology by 4. So
Okay.
all three, and then they beat Bengals lost by 4, right? So all three of the games that they played was a one possession game, you know.
Right, right,
So
right.
that just goes to show that they're in a good division this year. It goes to show that they easily could be 3-0. They could also be 0-3. They could be 2-1. It just shows that they're in a good division, and a lot of the games should be closer this season for them. So they should be one of the top teams this
Yeah.
year in this division.
Yeah, fair enough, man. Fair enough. Um, Speaking of two of the top teams, I did miss the lodge against Double Dip. That game, it was actually really exciting. It literally went down to pretty much the last play of the game. I'm gonna save you guys the whole breakdown of everything that happened. I'm just gonna basically bring it down to the last little bit here. So there's leading the game for Mr. Lusher. They were up at the time. I want to say they were up 30-28. So Double Dip gets a touchdown. So Xavier Perrin threw the ball to Nathan Tran for a 20-yard touchdown. You got pass coverage, what have you. Actually, no, sorry, I'm wrong. Sorry, my bad. Sorry, 4-yard touchdown pass from Xavier Perrin to I think his name is Xavier Hoang. So 4-yard TD. So now making it a 4-point game. So Double Dip, dying minutes of the game, they had to go for the onside. So Xavier Perrin rolled out to his right. He threw a pass down the right hand side of the field to I don't know what her first name is. I apologize. My laptop for some reason, maybe it's the FPF site. It's not working. I'm gonna go into the tablet right here quickly. La Fortune is her last name, so I want to do her justice because she was like I was impressed with watching her play. Her name is good roster. Sorry, my apologies. Carrie Ann La Fortune. There you go. She was wide open. I don't know how she got so wide open. She I think she did like a deep hook and was like open 15 yards down the field. Quarterback Perron there threw a really good pass. He hit her on a dime. She turned around, caught the ball, turned around and got a bunch of yak yards.
That was onside.
Yeah, it was on the onside. Yeah, like I don't understand. She's wide open. She had time to make a sandwich. She was that wide open. She had time to make a sandwich, like grab a beer. She was so wide open. So La Fortune makes the catch, 28-yard catch, right, with the yak yards. And then the next play, 20-yard pass to Nathan Tran. That was a 20-yard TD pass. So now it is a 4-point lead for Double Dip. They had to come back on defense. They made a stand. They actually, even before that, sorry, my apologies. The Double Dip was up 32-34 after getting the onside pass. After scoring a touchdown, they decided to go for two to make it a 4-point lead, which actually kind of makes sense. Like, it doesn't really matter at that point, but they got that as well. I think it was Nathan Tran actually got it. So basically, Mr. Lodge had 2 plays left. They couldn't do anything. And basically, Mr. Lodge stole defeat from the jaws of victory. Um, yeah, we've seen Mr. Lodge a lot. Obviously, the two Saint brothers, Tristan and Lucas, like these guys are phenomenal with the ball in their hands. I want to give a shout out though to the ladies on this team. I've talked about them before last year on the podcast. Talking about for Mr. Lodge here. Alexandra Blanc, I believe is her name. So I'm just trying to navigate the website here. Yeah, so it's sorry, just trying to find the roster. I had it and just disappeared off my page. Right, here we go. So yeah, Alexandra Blanc.
Number
So
7.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, number 7. She was all over the place. She's getting pass deflection. She's making some catches. There's her, Melly Landreville, Maggie Hood, Ophelian, Larry Ray, Gary P. These ladies can play. These ladies can play, and they're led again by Alex on LeBlanc. Like every time I watch her play, I'm like, I'm impressed. Like she's able to cover anybody. She covers a lot of the field too. Like she has the arm. She bats down a lot of passes. I came away impressed. For Double Dip though, same for Double Dip, same thing though. I can't lie. Like I came away. They had a rookie on their team. My apologies. I'm trying to find her name right here. Uh, I think she said it wasn't her first game, but I know I had to take a picture of her for the website. It's just not working. I needed to. Sorry. Um,
And Camille, Manuel,
I think it was no Emmanuel. I've seen her before.
Jade.
Why is this not working? Yeah, there was Jade Jutra. I've never seen her before. She made some plays as well. But there was another female on it. Sorry, here we go. I know how to find it. Here we go. Anyways,
Kahian.
needless to say, I'll finish my thought after. But yeah, I just came away impressed. Like it was an exciting game. There was ton of big plays on both sides of the ball, and everybody made a play. Everybody on both teams. Like, it wasn't like one player was just along for the ride. Like, all the players that took the field Sunday night, they all made a play for their team.
Yeah.
Um, uh, really? Okay, my apologies.
Good.
Just trying to give some players here. But anyways, yeah, you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get it. So moving forward, going to the next week, we actually have action starting this Friday. We're gonna have Michael Scott Tots versus Tea Party, and then Saturday, Tea Parties are gonna play again versus Kamikaze, and then Monday you have Mixology versus Michael Scott Tots. Uh, Same Monday as well, you have Double Dip versus Kamikaze, and then you have the last game is gonna be on Tuesday versus no pads, no helmets versus Shikaras. Shikaras.
So it should be good.
That's pretty much it. There's actually how many teams are playing twice? Like one, two, that's twice. Tea Party two. Okay, just two teams are playing
Not
twice.
it at all.
I guess some of the week four, so they're playing 2 games week four, so they're kind of catching up in the schedule.
All right.
So that's it for co-ed two. So we'll finish with co-ed one.
Yep. So co-ed one here, we had there was a game on Monday. It was the one game was Laguerre took 46-41 over the merge. So a bit of an upset there. I thought the merge would come out
Yeah,
victorious in this game.
the only game that was played. Me too. I'm surprised that the merge lost that game. But
Yeah. It's funny because the Laguerre took they were up 26-20 at the half, and then the merge ended up winning the second half 21-20. But again, that 5 point difference in that loss came back to bite them. I don't know about you. I'm not getting any stats for this game, unfortunately.
no, I'm looking at the play-by-play. To be honest with you, I was looking at the roster, couldn't find it. Merge stats, summary. So I
Yeah.
just looked at play-by-play to kind of see how it ended. It seems like um, the merge was up by one, say 2 points. One merge is up with six. The merge is up by one, and it looks like they got a turnover. I was just saying pass complete from our. It's weird. I don't understand. I don't get the play by play.
All right.
It's saying it's
What
saying
was the final score in the game? Like, who got the final touchdown?
George Fortin. So for it was
Yeah.
from that guard they took
Yeah. So that's a
they
winning
got the
touchdown.
last play, but it's weird because they scored two touchdowns in within 3 plays, but there's no onside. So I'm not
Hmm.
exactly sure how they did
Okay.
that. So they had the ball like wait. So merge
All right.
scored, they go for two, and then they had the ball incomplete score touchdown. And it's like they did. No, sorry, they got an onside kick.
Mm-hmm.
They attempted onside kick for incomplete. And some was there past the. I don't understand.
All right. Hey,
I don't get the box.
they won the game, so that's all that
Yeah,
matters. All right.
it seems like they won the game on the second to last play.
Okay. Well, there you go. All
It
right.
was still
Um.
close. They ended up scoring a touchdown,
Okay.
going for two, getting the 2 points. So they were down, it was 41-38. They drive on the field, they end up scoring, get 41-44. They get the 2 point
Mhm.
conversion, they end up winning the game 46-41.
Oh yeah. Cool. They won the game. There you go. So this week it's weird. So there's only two teams playing this weekend. Well, sorry, there's actually four games, but Friday and Saturday it's just two teams are playing back to back against each other. So Friday in Laval it's the merge against Kiss My End Zone, and then Saturday in Broussard it's also the merge against Kiss My End Zone. So see what happens there. Kiss My End Zone actually has a pretty decent team. I was looking at their rosters. Obviously, it's led by Dubois, Erica, and Alexi, but their team actually looks all right. So I got some of the other names on the roster, and of course I need to get them now. I can't find them because my the website's not working for me on my end. But
Yeah, so they
I
have they have Alex Dubois, Erica Dubois, Gigi, Isaiah,
GG Isaiah exactly
yeah, they have Matthew Pinard,
yeah
Rochelle Shea, Jimmy, Jean Slee, and then
yeah.
Victoria Bouchard.
So that should be a good game. I'm expecting that. I'm gonna say I think that's gonna be the game of the week. But both games, I mean, I don't know, both will be great, but I'm sure one of them should be good. We got a lot of big names on both sides. Obviously, the merge, Mark Andre Reeves,
Yeah, it should be
and
a
his
good.
whole crew. Should be
I'm
good.
curious to
Should be
see
good.
who's gonna rush. Oh, yeah, Isaiah actually. Never mind.
Yeah, yeah, but you know what? I remember talking to Brady Heineken about this. He says Mark Andre Reeves loves when he plays against a guy like Isaiah
Yeah,
because
he's gonna run.
Mark
The
Andre
thing
Reeves is
is,
not throwing the ball in the middle of the field.
it's the point where when you have Isaiah, when Isaiah's rushing, he still
Mm-hmm.
takes the middle of the field away. So you don't
Mm-hmm.
have to worry about like it's the point where if Mark ends up rolling out away, you kind of just send the halfback to shoot there, and you don't really take away the middle because you're not exactly sure it's there because Isaiah's so big. So
True. True.
he could like the fact that he has a matchup against Isaiah, but if Kiss My End Zone plays it well, they can use it as their advantage because it's going to be a point where he's going to try
Yeah.
to roll out a lot, and then they could just send like not a double rush, but it's to a point where if he rolls out to that side, the halfback that's playing short there shoots down, the guy that's playing over top comes down, you just kind of level it to one side. Because one thing about quarterbacks is when you do roll out to one side, you're kind of limiting yourself from half the
Yeah, you're
field.
taking away half of the field.
So if you could
Ideally, that's what you're doing, but I mean,
exactly. So if you could shift your defense to one side of the field,
yeah,
and then you have the arm length of Isaiah that takes away the middle where you can't really
yeah,
see the middle of the field, it's to a point where you only have literally one side of it, that you can
yeah.
see properly.
No, 100%, 100%. But I have seen Marc Andre Reeves throw across the field, across
Yeah,
the body.
me too. I've seen.
He's good at that. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I mean, he's getting playing each other back to back. I expect Isaiah will make some plays. Marc Andre Reeves will make some plays. We'll see who makes the more plays and who comes out on top. Like Garrett Took taking off Fit Squad. That's Sunday at Stady Bear. Uh, and Monday to wrap up the action, we have Let Go My Flag against like Garrett Took. So when I was doing some research before, I was looking at the Fit Squad. I know last year they struggled a bit, but David Michaud has been pretty solid at quarterback for this squad this year. So I like what I've seen so far out of him. I think that so not sorry, David Michel's receiver, my bad. At quarterback though, Will Brouard. So Will
Yeah,
Brouard has actually been pretty solid at quarterback. So and with Michel, that kind of 1-2 combination, quarterback receiver combo, they put up some good numbers so far. So I like what I've seen on the fifth squad. Can they pull off the upset and knock off the Garrett Took? You know what? I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes and call fifth squad for the win over the Garrett Took. And the Garrett Took, of course, like we said earlier, knocking off the merge this past Monday and at Saint Laurent.
mm-hmm. Should be a good
All
week.
right, so that does it for all the divisions. We are done with that. We have two new segments. One we're gonna debut next week, so we have a little tease on this. I'll put something up on Facebook, and we'll do a little tease on Instagram. We're gonna have a fantasy draft here in FPF for the fall season. I don't want to give too many details, but make sure you tune in next week. We're gonna have a fantasy draft. We're gonna get players from all the different divisions, all the 5v5, all the co-ed, all the 6-on-6. So we're gonna make sure we have enough ladies on there too. We want to be fair to the ladies because we all know that they can ball as well. So please don't sleep on them.
Yeah,
So we're gonna have some players, some guys, some ladies. It's gonna be fun. Fantasy draft starts next week. So Quaysie will have a team. I'll have a team as well. We'll get started. It'll be fun.
it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be interesting, especially to see who's gonna win each week between me and you two.
100%.
I don't know. It's gonna be also the players too, right? It's to the point where maybe
Yeah.
maybe I'm gonna have to message someone on a Monday night and be like, I need you to score me at least two
Step it up,
touchdowns
son.
and a couple tackles.
100%. 100%.
I need you. So that should be
100%. 100%. All right. Do you want to do the? Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Ali Reza. We have questions. So I know Quasi, you have a segment as well that you want to introduce.
yeah.
Right.
So my segment basically we're gonna have it's basically gonna be it's trade. Sorry, it's gonna be keep, cut, trade, or bench, pretty much. So
Okay.
we're gonna have it's gonna be categories of depending what it is. It could be quarterbacks, receivers, DBs, corners, coaches. It's gonna just be a bunch of random things we're gonna have, and again, we're gonna basically be me and Brent are basically gonna say who we want to keep, who we're gonna cut, who we're gonna trade, and yeah, we're just gonna get it's gonna be our opinion, and we're also gonna ask you guys as well, the audience, and also Instagram followers like that to see what they would also they would want to do and try to get more people involved. So that's also gonna be something to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, it should be good. I mean, if I could trade for someone to replace Nick Bosa right now, I could. And I think Quaysie, if you can cut your 0-3 Houston Texans, I think
Yeah,
you can do that as
exactly. I'm kind of sad that we lost this week. That one.
well. All right, yeah. So look forward to that again. We were trying some new things here on the First and Goal podcast. So hopefully you guys like it. Again, everything new in FPF, the new website, League Suite, obviously authored or created, I guess you could say, designed by Rob Campana. It's a new scorekeeping app. So, I mean, a little bit of bugs. We're working everything out, but
Yeah.
it's good right now. But once everything is all up and like 100% running, the website's gotten better from where we were this time last week when couldn't get into anything really for the most part. It's getting better, slowly
Yeah.
getting better. I give it another week or two, and I think everything will be like running top notch as it should. Again, we're trying to be innovative here at FPF, so hopefully you guys appreciate it, and hopefully soon you'll be able to enjoy everything. Like you said earlier, right? You can do a lot of multitasking on the website. It's the colors are better, the layout is pretty cool. So
It's
uh,
more for the long term we're looking.
yeah, yeah, exactly, 100%, 100%. All right, man. Questions of the week. Um,
Yeah. So give me 1 second. Let me just bring this up here. So we had two questions, I believe. The first question. So the first question. Oh no, we have only one question.
we should have two. So I know
Um,
I pitched one and you pitched one, so we should have two.
so should teams that win championships in the lower division be forced to play in a higher division for the next season?
Yeah, yeah, that
So
was my question.
results. Like that to do it. So for some reason, I'm usually able to see the results, but I can't see it for some reason. But 69% said yes, and 31% said no. Unfortunately, I can't see how many people voted, but usually we get around the 300 mark, 400 mark of
Yeah.
people who voted. So, but 69% said yes, 31% said no. So Brent, to ask you on that question, what do you feel for that question?
Well, I thought of it. I mean, like I asked that question just because again, like I think that more so before, 'cause I've been in the league for a long time. There used to be a ton of division dodgers. I find it's less and less every single year. But I do think, like a team like PSTM, right? You win Division F. Should they be playing Tier Five? No, but actually, you know what? Right now, the record says they should be playing Tier Five. So I'm not saying they're Division Dodgers at all, but I feel like you have some teams who never want to go up in division. Again, it's different if you're a Tier Two team and you're playing Tier Two because all your other guys, for the most part, play Tier One, or if you're like when we had with women's one, women's two, women's three. If you're in a women's two team because a lot of your best players are playing women's one, that's understandable. That's totally different. But I feel like if you're a team in tier five, if you're a team in co-ed three, you win it all. Yeah, it should kind of go up.
Yeah,
You should kind of go up a division.
we actually had a comment. I can't see it now, but I remember looking at it, and I would love to give the person a shout out. But she said, I believe it was a girl. She said that if you win it back to back years, so if you win it two
Yeah,
times, then you should go up. So,
yeah, that's
example,
fair. That's fair.
if you
That's
win
fair.
Tier 5 and then Division 6, you should be going to Tier 4 and Division 5. Or if
Yeah,
you
yeah,
win Tier
yeah.
5 and win Tier 5 again, it's your time to drop down to Tier 4.
No, that's yeah. See, no, actually, I completely agree with that. That's actually fair because like, some teams come in and they don't expect to win, and upsets happen and all that.
Yeah,
Like we saw right in the finals for the spring season, there's a ton of upsets, right? And a ton of teams who were lower ranked teams ended up winning it all. So I feel like yeah, I mean, some teams need that extra year, maybe even after winning it, to stay in that division to keep on improving, despite the fact that they win a championship. But yeah, I agree. At the very least, 2 years, but some teams though should still be one. That's
Yeah,
just my opinion.
yeah. So that's what she wrote. And I liked that. I was like, you know what, kind of makes sense. You know,
Yeah,
if you
100%.
win the first years again, could be a bit fluky. If you win again second year, like it's okay,
Yeah,
it's enough now. It's time for you to go drop down, go try to win the division, try to win a championship in that division.
there you go.
So you
What
had
was
that, and then the other question was, should we have a 3 point convert?
yeah.
And people did not like that. So
Mm.
we had, I
So,
actually have the results for that one. We had 220 people, 77% said no, 23% said yes, and we had 220 votes that said no and 64 that said yes.
okay,
So
so since this is your question, like what inspired you to ask that?
there's something new. I feel like we added the onside kicks. I was just thinking a 3 point convert, something to make it more interesting. It's still a fact sometimes where it's like we're one of the leagues that offers 6v6 football, and
Mm.
it's not realistic around the world. Um, as now, you know what? So if we might as well try to make things a bit interesting. If you're down by three, it's to a point where this league is supposed to be for fun, right? That's why we implied the onside kicks,
Mm.
trying
Mm.
to make it more realistic, not realistic, more chances of winning or tying games. So sometimes it kind of sucks if you're down by 9 points and there's like a minute left. Like there's no chance of you winning. But if you
Yeah.
have a 3 point convert, it's to a point where okay, we score, we go for a 3 point convert, we get the convert, and then we have a chance for tying the game. Something just making it a bit interesting. That's it. That's
Where would you take? So obviously it's five at the 5 yard line for the 1 point, at the 10 yard line for
pretty.
for the 2 point. Where would you take the 3 yard from?
I would say the 15 or the 20.
Okay, okay,
Something
okay.
in church of being three. It's like kind of also, I was also watching Chinese basketball, but in that Chinese league, I
Yeah.
forgot what's called. They have a 4 point 3 pointer. Well,
Oh, really? Okay,
they have a
okay.
line for a 4 pointer.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, exactly. I
Nice.
was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Imagine being down by 3 point. Imagine being down by 4 points with like
Yeah,
five
yeah,
seconds
yeah.
left. Usually, what happens is you have to score and then you have to foul. No, in this situation, you just have to hit a 4 pointer, and guess what? We're good to go.
There you
So
go. There you
something
go.
interesting. Like
Oh yeah.
I personally, I would be pissed if I'm in a situation where if my team's up by 9 points, like we win the game's over. I don't want you to score and have a chance to go for three, but it's just something to make it interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, I mean, yeah, in the spirit of trying to make everything interesting and just new, right? Like you want to keep things interesting. Like I would even say, maybe even go for the 3 point conversion from midfield, just to make it even more interesting. Make it harder,
Yeah,
make it a bit more fun, and because I mean, listen, when we put in the onside pass, the onside run plays, right? Like a lot of people are like, oh, this is gonna be so hard. You got to get to midfield from your 5 yard line,
yeah, it should,
and
it should be hard. It's the reason
we
why.
see at least one or two pulled off every week, right? So I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, maybe.
I even think it should be harder than what it is. It's kind of like saying because you're basically giving a chance for you to win a game. It's like an onside
Yeah,
kick in the NFL. You know how hard an onside kick is? It actually is
yeah,
to be
yeah, yeah,
successful.
yeah, 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 yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's we have a 98% unsuffering in the NFL for onside kick. I think they probably maybe
Okay.
get one or two a year if they're lucky.
Yep.
The amount of that are actually done, but you don't see it often enough. Like so.
100%. 100%. All right, man. Do you want to give a quick shout out? I had a chance last Friday with Mo Khan. Obviously, we run the call for the McGill Redbirds upset victory over the U of M Carabam, 31-24 at Mosa Stadium on Friday. Like I said, I was driving up to the game and I saw Jeremy Steinberg. Shout out again to him and get well soon. A couple guys obviously playing in FPF, not right now obviously because they're playing tackle, but like Ryan McNally, Janai Copeland, Janai Tash Copeland Lewis, some guys used to play obviously the Division 1, some Division 2 and that. Shout out to those boys. It was a great atmosphere. Again, being on the call was amazing. The sideline erupted. Was erupting pretty much the last minute of the game. Just to put some context on it, it's the first time since 2002 that McGill beat U of M. So
Yeah, 23
yeah,
years.
they were like 0-36 in the last 36 meetings. So shout out to McGill. They ran the ball down U of M's throat. I'll be honest, U of M made a lot of mistakes, turnovers, but there was without a shadow of a doubt, McGill was the better team on that night, and yeah, they capitalized on mistakes and they kind of enforced their will. Like obviously playing tackle, as you know, right? Like, you win games are won and lost at the line of scrimmage, and McGill dominated on the line of scrimmage, again running the ball down UFM's throat repeatedly. And anyways, good to be a part of history. It was a great game. If you have a chance, you can check it out on the McGill Sports Network or wherever else.
Yeah, it's
Anyways.
good. It's good for the league as well too. I think it
Yeah,
humbled Montreal.
yeah.
I kind of feel bad for Concordia because I believe Montreal plays Concordia this weekend for their homecoming.
Oh
Um,
yeah, oh yeah. They're going to be upset. I'll tell you that.
so it's going to be a point where Concordia might get the lashing at the end of. They might get the end of the stick because of that loss that they might get the end of the stick because Montreal just lost. So they kind of want to. It's the point. It's statement time, right? I feel like Montreal. I believe
Oh
they're the number one team in the country
yeah.
before losing that game. I don't know exactly where they dropped to, but I just
So
know
the
they did.
3-1. It was their first loss of the year for the Caribbean.
Yeah, I just don't know where they're ranked now. I don't know where they
Oh,
used
the
to.
national rank. Yeah, that's a good question. I
I
mean,
don't know where they rank them. I know they. I just know they end up being Laval. They had a good game versus Laval, and then they end up losing versus
yeah,
Montreal.
yeah, yeah.
McGill. So I know that definitely it's going to mess up the ranking. So it's to a point where how many points now do we have to score to keep our number one ranking? Because that's something that I know a lot of teams, a lot of programs like to see when you get ranked. The one being number one is the best. Number two, number three. You want to be the one of the best teams in the country. So
Yeah.
shout out to Concordia, homecoming coming up as well. Hopefully you guys can hold it down and not get a beating because I know Montreal is pissed and they're gonna
Oh
have to
yeah.
put down someone. So
Shout out as well. So Guillaume Perrier, he's a referee in FPF. I'm sure everyone's seen him. He plays so one of the defensive backs. I think he plays halfback or safety. I can't remember. I don't have the UVM roster in front of me. Unfortunately, I don't.
he's a
Yeah, Guillaume's a stand-up dude, one of the top refs, and then FPF. He's going to be probably a CFL ref down the road. So he was playing safety, playing in the secondary for U of M in that game. I'm sure it was a long week of practice this week for U of M. That's all I'm going to say. Sure, it was a very long week of practice. Yeah, yeah. We'll see what happens at Connu because I don't know. I think we both know what's going to happen. But I mean, listen, and again, a lot of FEF guys for U of M, FEF guys at McGill, like we said, FEF guys for Connu. Pretty much every FEF is represented in university and collegiate ball all over the province, right?
yeah.
So it's great to see.
That's about it.
Yeah. I think that does it. All right, man. This was fun. Again, don't forget to tune in next week. We're gonna have the trade cut bench or trade
Trade.
cut bench.
So start.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, start, cut, bench, trade. There you go.
Did we start calling it pick 'em? Was that the title you want to roll with, or what do you want
I'm
to?
not exactly sure. I think that's what you liked. What was the? You said you liked the first one that we
I
wrote.
was cool with picking, but take the week. Take the week when we come back next time. We'll decide.
We'll have
Again,
some. Well, you guys are gonna see. We're gonna have something posted for you guys.
there you go. There you go. We'll make sure we'll have all this up on Instagram as well. And again, we got our fantasy team starting next week. Shout out to Ali Reza. He's back. He's 2 weeks off in Greece. He's come back. He's told me all he did was drink beer and stuff, and his girlfriend dumped him and stuff, or almost dumped him. He told me, and he's lucky to be back alive. He said, yeah. He said it was a horrible trip and he had a horrible time. Messing around. He said Greece was awesome. Welcome back, Ali Reza. We missed you. Don't forget, of course, to like and subscribe and follow the YouTube channel. Anywhere else you want to catch this podcast, make sure to like and subscribe and all that good stuff. It's been a long week. That'll do it. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Peace.